Folks, lots of drama today in the federal trial of Shawn Diddy Combs. Candice Kelly, legal analyst, joins us right now. Candice?
Yes, I want to make sure. Can you hear me okay? Because there's a little bit of it's like a reverb I'm getting.
Yep, we got you. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, as you may have heard, juror number 6 has been dismissed. This juror is a 41-year-old black man. He was dismissed over concerns about his candor after he allegedly had conflicting discussions about where he lived. Now, as you know, there's a voir dire process, and during that process, he said that he did in fact live in the Bronx, but then someone overheard him saying that he was coming from New Jersey. So the juror had to talk to the judge about where he lived, and he flipped back and forth so much that the judge says, "Listen, we can't trust you. It seems as though you are not being candid. It seems as though you are trying to actually get on this jury." Now, the defense certainly they argued against this because this was a 41-year-old black man replaced by a 57-year-old white man, and they said that there was an unfair disadvantage in this. They argued this to do with race. What we are saying here is that he's not as candid as he should have been, and because of that, it seems a little suspect in terms of his motives. Now, the defense, in their 14-page letter, they said, quote, "We believe that the motive is supported not only by the government's remarkable decision to use 7 of its 9 peremptory strikes against black jurors, but also by the history of investigation and prosecution, which is characterized often by extreme government outreach from the beginning." So they are saying that this is a race issue. If he's actually convicted, Shawn Combs, of any one of these charges, certainly this is going to be coming up during appeal. Now, when we look at those who stand after the juror issue was figured out, we have someone who's called a summary witness. The summary witness is by the name of Anand Sankar. She's a paralegal specialist with the U.S. Office for the Southern District of New York. She had a 33-page chart that she walked the jury through. It had people, places, things, text,
What is the fuck up with this audience?
It had information that had specific discussions between Shawn Combs' chief of staff, Christina Coram, and Shawn Combs. And it appeared that she was setting up these freak-offs as well as coordinating the delivery of thousands of dollars in cash, as well as setting up drugs. We heard of a drug dealer by the name of Guido, and this, according to other witnesses, was one of Shawn's favorite drug providers. Now, in this testimony, we also saw on this chart conversations between D. Rock Butler. I'm sure that this is a familiar name to many people who have been following the case. This is someone who's very intimately involved in Shawn Combs and everything that he did from security or driving. These conversations, specifically that the prosecution was touching upon, was based upon the fact that Mia, if you remember Mia, she took the stand earlier, a couple of weeks ago, and she said that after the Cassie Ventura beating video came out, that it was Shawn Combs and D-Rock who reached out to her incessantly for a week, trying to convince her she thought that, this is actually a normal relationship that Cassie and Shawn Combs were having. She also pointed out that D-Rock tried to allegedly attempt to send her some money, perhaps to try to bribe her in order to say something positive about Shawn Combs in light of this beating video. So we heard about that. We also heard from a special agent, another summary witness. And for those people who don't know, a summary witness is someone who takes the stand and connects the dots for all of this information that we've been hearing over the past 5 weeks, or now in our 6th week of this particular trial. This particular agent talked about travel and credit records showing that allegedly Shawn Combs is the one who paid for this travel. Shawn Combs is the one who paid for these particular prostitutes or they don't like to use the word prostitutes, escorts, if you will, in this situation. Also, we heard about jewels. Cassie Ventura talked a lot about jewels. So what the prosecution was trying to do with these summary and last and final witnesses is to say, hey, we may have Christina Coram, the chief of staff coming to the witness stand. But we do have these digital records that connect her to everything that has been taking place. Now, on cross, the defense is saying, listen, there are periods of time where Christina and Shawn don't reach out to any of the witnesses that have come before us and taken the stand to give their testimony. So they're saying that this wasn't something consistent, that this is something that happened every once in a while, and that there was no coercion that was consistent. That's the point that they are trying to make. We are going to hear from Brendan Paul later this week. For those people who don't know who he is a former attendee of Syracuse University, basketball player, said to be a major drug provider for Shawn Combs. This is one of the final witnesses that we are going to hear about from the prosecution, Roland.
All right, Candace Kelly, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.